G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope that you are super well. What exciting news we've had drop overnight for me, this morning for you, regarding a new release from Nikon. Yes indeed, we've had a teaser countdown dropped. This is new, this is different, and well, I think we can safely say that this teaser is for the Z8. I did find out about halfway through my live stream last night, which you can check out here. It turned into a Q&A as well, which was great, that there is a hidden Easter egg in this teaser countdown, and that Easter egg has the number 8 in it. So I think we can safely assume, yes, the Z8 is on its way. And we've got less than 2 weeks to wait to finally know and fully understand what I think is going to be a super exciting release. There was another little clue in this launch teaser countdown, which was the play button, the play motif hidden in the titling. Now, what does this say to us? This is clearly leaning towards video. So does this mean it's a big part of this release? Let's talk about it. Okay, before we get into this video, I'm going to put up a poll. Are you going to get yourself a Z8 based on the current specs that we know? Yes or no? Vote in the poll below. Okay, well, the Z8 is on its way. Less than 2 weeks to go. So many people are going to be excited. At this point in time, I'm just going to say that it is a Z9 Mini. That is what Nikon Rumors thinks. That is the specs we're seeing. That is what everything has coalesced down to. The Z9, I consider it already an absolutely outstanding video camera. It shoots 8K, it shoots 8.3K, even more than 8K, in RAW, and it does it in 60 frames per second. This is already an outstanding machine. And if you want to be a cinematographer and go out and capture beautiful images, you simply cannot go wrong with the Nikon Z9 and the glass that Nikon have provided for us. And you can watch multiples of my videos where I am showcasing all of these lenses, and the results are absolutely outstanding. So the Z9, it's already an astonishing video machine. The Z8, yes, we're going to call it the Z8 from now on. No more caveats, no more maybes, no more ifs or buts, because there's an 8 in that countdown, just to repeat it one more time. Why is video being lent into in this titling? Really, what more can Nikon bring to a mirrorless hybrid camera that's supposed to be just as good for stills as it is for video? What more can they bring to this form factor? What else can they do? My very best guess is anything that we might see is probably more firmware related than it is hardware related. Now, I was asked the question last night, what's going to happen with the screen? Is it a flippy screen or is it a tilting screen? Now, if you're going to lean more towards the video space, maybe it will be a flipping forward screen. Maybe it'll be like the A7R5, where we get the best of everything. It tilts and it flips. Other places that you might want to see it is built-in ND filters. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And another place after that you might see it is, say, being able to get XLR sound into the camera. I did speculate 6 months ago, why not have the types of microphones that I am wearing today, a wireless microphone? Why don't we have these microphones being able to directly connect digitally into the camera, just directly wirelessly, so there is no external unit on the camera? That's another potential feature, that's another potential option. So there could be a few little things like this. Direct connection of wireless audio. I don't think there'll be ND filters. And maybe a flip around screen. Perhaps would this be the first time that we've seen it in a higher level camera from Nikon? The ZFC, the Z30, and the Z50 have all potential for forward facing screens. They all do it. But they are all entry level and they're all APS-C. This would be a first. This would be very exciting for some Nikon users, and this of course would lean into the video and content creator side of things. And the more I think about it while I'm talking here, the more it makes an immense amount of sense. Now, that doesn't mean that Nikon's done it. they could go either way. But as we know, the CEO and reports continue to talk about Nikon's desire to get more and more into the video space. And I just simply think that cannot be ignored as the shape of content creation and media creation, it just keeps changing for us. That could happen. It would be a big deal. And I've said consistently, the Z9 is absolutely the best all-rounder camera you can have, because it can do it all. It literally can do it all. Now, if the Z8 is very much like the Z9 with maybe a few things trimmed down, but it's got that flip around screen and, well, maybe some other stuff, then it really, really does become a super duper all-rounder and even a smaller, lighter, and more affordable package. You can see this sort of camera sitting in a lot of people's bags, and you can take it with you anywhere in the world, and it can get a lot of different things done. Everything from content creation of media, what I'm doing here, talking heads, shooting portraits, wildlife, birding, architectural, and video. I mean, that's the thing. The Z9 allows you to do whatever you want. Photographically, you can do whatever you want. And if the Z8 does the same and a little bit more, and it's less, and it's lighter, and it's smaller, wow. So there you go, that's video. I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that they've put it in the logo, because there is so little information. There's basically no other information in this teaser other than that video play button, besides the fact that the 8's there. So it's telling us it's the 8. So look, everybody, super excited. I am super excited. I think that this moment, I've said it in the previous video, this is the D850 mirrorless replacement moment. This is a camera that will be considered, I think, one of the best mirrorless all-rounder cameras ever made, because I already feel that way about the Z9, but because it's cheaper, lighter, and more affordable, it will end up in more people's hands. And potentially, being a year and a half younger, it might have even more technology. Who knows? When I say the D850 moment, I mean a lot of things by that. I mean a camera that's going to be considered a consummate all-rounder. I mean a camera that sits in this tier below the flagship. And I mean a camera that sort of sits at a certain price point. Even so, I think this camera is going to be a little bit more expensive than the D850 was, but it's going to be way more of a camera than the D850 is. It's very windy here, and if my camera blows over, that'll make for great video. I'm sure you can see the trees moving. And again, just to briefly touch on diffraction. Now, this is something that may be solved in the future. And Nikon even has a feature in the Z9. I'll have to go and look at the other cameras to see if it has it in it, but it's a diffraction reduction setting. What it does, I'm not 100% sure, but diffraction is real. I have seen it, I have tested it. And right now on the market, we do not have any stacked BSI 61 megapixel sensors. And nobody has it. Sony just released their latest version in the A7R5, and it is not stacked. And it's actually quite slow. If I had a choice with a 13% difference between stacked, fast, electronic shutter versus slow, mechanical shutter, and that extra 13% and diffraction, I am definitely choosing the 45 megapixel stacked BSI sensor. That is the choice that I would make, because I personally want an all-rounder. And to close out this video and to just briefly talk about, will Nikon ever go into that 61 or above megapixel space? I've always thought the Z7 made the most sense, the Z7 line of cameras. The Z7 is small, but you can put any 35mm sensor in it. It's a slower camera, and these cameras might continue to have mechanical shutters in them. So designed for portraiture, landscape, architecture, designed for all sorts of things, really. They can do anything. I mean, these cameras really can do everything except bird in flight and high-speed action. It could be specifically designed to run a bit slower, but have high megapixels. So it makes perfect sense to me that the Z7 range of cameras continues to be the slower, but resolution fidelity camera in the line. That's where you will find the absolute highest rendering capabilities. Okay, everybody, well, I'd love, now the dust is starting to settle on the Z8, I suppose we've still got 2 weeks of maybe some channels speculating every third day on what's going to be in the Z8. That won't be me. I'm happy to wait the next 2 weeks. So please, let's chat about this in the comments below. Any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, I would love to hear them. I will close out this conversation by saying the Z9, powerhouse moment for Nikon. They created a class-leading camera on a class-leading platform with, from my perspective, a class-leading mount. That's what they did with the Z9. Pretty awesome moment. But I think if the Z8 is what we think it's going to be huger. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be commercially a bigger success because it's more accessible from price, size, weight, and potentially maybe even more technology. We don't know yet. Now we're closer to reality. The poll is, are you interested in buying a Z8 or not? Please vote in the poll. It has been so good to see you. And if this is your first time here, I would love to see you again. So please do subscribe, please share, and please like. And I can't wait for 2 weeks' time. It's going to be huge. Take care, everybody. Bye.